Hello, miladies of inestimable value. Move in silence. Only speak when it's time to say checkmate. That's not just a quote. That's the operating manual of a Sigma female. While the world's busy glamorizing loud success, she's already mastered the art of being 10 steps ahead, with no audience, no noise, and absolutely no permission. And here's a wild fact most people overlook. According to a global workplace study, over 65% of women feel pressure to conform to social norms in their careers. But Sigma females? They don't just break the mold. They melt it, redesign it, and then ghost it entirely. You see, while others chase titles, trends, and team-building retreats from hell, Sigma females are out here building empires in the shadows. They don't fit in at work. They disrupt it, own it, or walk away with style when it's beneath them. But here's the twist. Sigma females don't just fall into the right career. They design it, like a sniper choosing her vantage point. And not all jobs deserve their genius. So in this video, we're diving into 12 extraordinary, brutally honest careers made for Sigma females only, not the fluffy, cliché ones. We're talking about roles so tailored, so precise, so high-functioning, that most people wouldn't even survive them. But for her, it's just another Tuesday. Buckle up. You're not just about to see career options. You're about to witness how the most misunderstood woman on the planet rewrites the rules of success, one calculated move at a time. Number 1. Non-traditional therapist for high-functioning sociopaths. Number 16 is not your average career choice. It's the kind of job most people wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Being a non-traditional therapist for high-functioning sociopaths is not about warm hugs and motivational quotes. It's psychological combat. And only a Sigma female has the nerve, the depth, and the strategic mind to take it on without flinching. Let's get one thing straight. These clients aren't crying over breakups. They're CEOs who manipulate entire boardrooms like chessboards, political advisors who can lie under oath without blinking, or criminal minds who understand charm better than empathy. The average therapist would get played within 5 minutes. But a Sigma female? She doesn't just know the game. She built her own version and plays it in the dark. What makes her thrive in this role is her emotional detachment combined with piercing psychological insight. She's not there to rescue anyone or hand out tissues. She's there to observe, dissect, and guide without losing control. She's immune to manipulation because she doesn't care about being liked. And high-functioning sociopaths, as cold and calculating as they are, respect that. They don't want softness. They want someone who can see through them, not melt in front of them. This isn't about healing in the traditional sense. It's about containment. It's about ensuring that high-level individuals with power but no conscience don't destroy themselves or worse, others. She knows how to push their mental levers, how to redirect that ruthless energy into something useful, and how to manage them without feeding their ego. It's power management, controlled chaos with a human face, no applause, no Instagram therapy quotes, no group hugs, just straight mental warfare dressed up as conversation. And she excels because she understands one hard truth. Not all minds are wired for kindness. Some are wired for conquest. And they still need someone who won't fall for the mask, who won't be intimidated, and who can walk through that mental labyrinth without losing herself. It's not a job for the faint-hearted, but for a Sigma female who thrives on control, mystery, and staying 3 moves ahead. This isn't a challenge, it's a match. And she never enters a match she doesn't intend to dominate. Number 2, curator of private knowledge vaults. This is one of those careers that doesn't show up on job boards because it's not meant to. The Sigma female as a curator of private knowledge vaults operates in a world most people don't even know exists. She doesn't just collect data. She archives power, quietly, invisibly, permanently. Her clients aren't everyday folks. They're tycoons, heirs, shadow players, and sometimes people whose names you've never heard, but who move nations with a phone call. They come to her with their most guarded secrets, family scandals scrubbed from public view, business strategies not even their boards know, entire bloodlines rewritten to protect legacies. And she documents it all, not to expose it, but to preserve it. Not to leak it, but to make sure it can never be erased. She's not a historian. She's not a hacker. She's something in between, a truth handler. She organizes raw, dangerous information into highly encrypted knowledge libraries. Every detail is cataloged with surgical precision, but nothing is public. These vaults are built for leverage, not learning. Because when the stakes are legacy, information isn't knowledge, it's currency. And she knows the exact price of silence. Her work demands a level of trust no NDA could ever cover. People hand her the skeletons in their closets and the keys to their kingdoms. Not because she's friendly, but because she's unreadable. She doesn't gossip, she doesn't crack under pressure. And if you try to betray her, good luck. She's already built contingencies into your file before you even shook her hand. This role is perfect for a Sigma female because it's control without chaos, secrecy without guilt, and influence without noise. She has zero desire for fame, but a deep obsession with accuracy, discretion, and power that's never seen, but always felt. She doesn't ask questions. She already knows the answers. And if she doesn't, she knows how to find them without leaving footprints. She doesn't collect knowledge for kicks. She collects it because she understands one chilling truth. The real world isn't run by the loudest voices. It's run by the people who know things no one else does, and she's the one they trust to keep it that way. Number 3, legacy architect for the elite. Being a legacy architect for the elite isn't about legal paperwork or family trees. It's about designing immortality. And a Sigma female doesn't just take on this role. She owns it like a shadow queen pulling strings behind velvet curtains. Her clients aren't worried about death. They're worried about what comes after. Billionaires, power brokers, political families, these people don't just want to pass down wealth. They want to pass down meaning, myth, and influence. That's where she steps in. While estate lawyers handle the assets, she handles the narrative, the version of their story that will echo through generations, whether it's clean, controversial, or completely rewritten. She crafts legacy blueprints like a military strategist. Reputation cleanups, historical reframing, carefully planted media pieces, leaked letters that paint them in a more heroic light, philanthropic campaigns with razor-sharp timing. She doesn't just protect a name, she elevates it. Even after her clients are 6 feet under, their image still walks through boardrooms and ballots. This is psychological architecture. She looks at a life like an unfinished manuscript, deleting chapters, rewriting endings, and designing a version of the truth that serves a long-term purpose. Not everyone gets a glowing legacy, but with her behind the curtain, everybody gets remembered the way they want, or the way she decides is smarter. What makes a Sigma female lethal in this role is her emotional detachment. She's not sentimental about death. She doesn't get starstruck by the elite. And she definitely doesn't care about what actually happened. She cares about what needs to be remembered. That's what her clients pay her for. That's why they trust her. She's not loyal to emotion, she's loyal to the mission. She works alone, answers to no one, and her power is invisible but absolute. She doesn't write eulogies, she designs public memory. And if you ever wonder why a powerful figure's dark past suddenly disappears while their charity work floods the media, chances are she's behind it, tightening the strings, making sure history bends the right way. Because in the end, the truth doesn't always survive. But the narrative, that's hers to sculpt, and she never carves in anything less than stone. Number 4, intelligence analyst. As an intelligence analyst, a Sigma female isn't just in the room. She is the reason the room even exists. She doesn't chase credit, she doesn't crave recognition, and she definitely isn't there for the politics. She's there for the raw, unfiltered truth, and she'll tear through noise, lies, and layers of encrypted misdirection just to find it. She operates like a human algorithm with instincts that can't be taught. While most people get distracted by surface-level chaos, she's quietly mapping the entire structure underneath, pinpointing patterns, exposing blind spots, and predicting moves before they happen. Not through guesswork, through precision. Her brain doesn't do clutter, it does clarity, and that makes her lethal in this role. This isn't the kind of job where you wear a badge and wave at satellites. This is silence, solitude, and obsession. She's neck-deep in encrypted chatter, analyzing behavior patterns that don't even register on the radar for average minds. She doesn't just spot threats, she understands them, anticipates them, and knows exactly what to feed into the system to neutralize them before anyone else even senses a ripple. And she doesn't care who's watching or who isn't. While the suits at the top are busy giving press conferences, she's already moved the chessboard 3 times behind closed doors. She doesn't want a round of applause. She wants the right outcome, because for her, the win isn't in being seen. It's in knowing she's the reason the explosion never happened, the hack never succeeded, or the scandal never reached daylight. What makes a Sigma female perfect for this is her resistance to pressure. She doesn't crack, panic, or lose her cool. She doesn't need validation to trust her instincts, and she sure as hell won't sugarcoat uncomfortable data just to make someone feel better. She gives the truth like a bullet, clean, fast, and impossible to ignore. She's not just an analyst, she's the quiet force keeping powerful systems from falling apart. She'll never go viral, she'll never be on the front page. But make no mistake, when something massive doesn't go wrong, she was there, deep in the data, rewriting the outcome before anyone else even knew a threat existed. Number 5. Forensic linguist. Being a forensic linguist isn't about correcting typos, it's about decoding minds through language. And for a Sigma female, this is where her obsession with patterns, precision, and hidden intent turns into a weapon. She's not reading for content, she's reading for evidence. One misplaced word, one unusual phrase, one shift in tone, and boom, she's cracked open the psychology behind a threat, a ransom note, or a perfectly rehearsed lie. She's the kind of woman who can stare at a seemingly normal email and know the sender was panicking. She can break down a suicide note and tell you if the victim actually wrote it. She can analyze a political speech and point out exactly when it stopped being authentic and started being damage control. This isn't hunch work. It's linguistic forensics, and she's a natural. What makes her so exceptional in this role is her laser-sharp attention to the subtle. The kind of detail most people miss, like how often someone says I versus we, or whether their sentence structure changes under pressure. She knows how guilt leaks through pronouns. She knows how power hides behind passive voice, and she'll find the buried truth without ever raising her voice. People don't realize that words are fingerprints. Every person leaves a unique trail in how they write and speak. Sigma females pick up those trails like bloodhounds. It's not flashy, it's not loud, it's intellectual combat in complete silence. She doesn't need a badge or a gun, just a few documents, a keyboard, and her mind operating like a psychological X-ray. And don't think you can outsmart her with big words or fake eloquence. She'll know you're faking it before you even hit send. In a room full of analysts, she's the one connecting the linguistic dots no one else can see, the one quietly circling the suspect with nothing but a paragraph and a pen. You don't see her coming because you don't realize you've already confessed. In your word choice, your grammar, your rhythm, she doesn't accuse, she uncovers. In the end, this isn't about communication, it's about cracking reality through language. And when you've got a Sigma female reading your words, just know, there's no such thing as subtle. She already sees you. Number 6. Behavioral hacker. A Sigma female working as a behavioral hacker isn't just smart. She's psychologically dangerous in the most fascinating way. She doesn't need algorithms or lines of code. Her programming language is human nature, emotions, fears, habits, micro-expressions. Those are her commands. She doesn't hack systems, she hacks people. And the scary part, they don't even realize it's happening. She studies human behavior like it's her personal playbook. While most people react to what's visible, she's decoding why it happened in the first place. She knows how a person stands when they're lying. She knows what people don't say when they're hiding something. She can walk into a room, read 5 conversations without hearing a word, and walk out knowing exactly who's in control, who's insecure, and who's about to snap. That's not intuition. It's behavioral engineering, and she does it with surgical precision. Social engineering isn't just something she uses, it's something she masters. Need someone to spill classified information? She'll figure out what tone of voice they respond to. Need to break into an inner circle without detection? She'll mirror their vibe so subtly, they'll think she's one of them. Her power lies in being invisible, just familiar enough to blend in, just different enough to stay in control. It's not manipulation for manipulation's sake. It's precision warfare wrapped in charm. Sigma females make terrifyingly good behavioral hackers because they don't get caught up in the drama. They don't get flustered by emotions, and they don't fall into the traps they set for others. They are immune to the bait. While others try to play the game of influence, she's already rewritten the rules, changed the board, and hidden the dice. By the time someone realizes they've been hacked, it's over. The conversation, the connection, the negotiation, it already served her purpose. She doesn't need recognition for it. Most of the time, she walks away before anyone figures out what just happened. And that's her favorite part. Because when you're this fluent in human code, you don't just manipulate the environment, you become the environment. So no, she's not hacking computers, she's hacking people. Not with malice, with precision. And she's not playing the game, she is the glitch in it. Number 7. Strategic ghostwriter, a Sigma female. As a strategic ghostwriter isn't some content monkey typing up feel-good fluff for influencers. She's the hidden force behind the most influential words in the world. The ones that move markets, calm nations, rebrand billion-dollar empires, and save powerful reputations from public collapse. Her pen doesn't just write, it rewires perception. She's the one CEOs call when they've said something catastrophic and need a statement that sounds human, humble, and bulletproof all at once. She's the one who crafts political speeches that stir just enough patriotism to distract from scandal. She's the one who scripts the comeback story for the disgraced mogul, making failure sound like a strategic pause. And you'll never know she was involved. That's the point. She understands something most writers never do. Words are weapons. Tone, cadence, silence, structure. Every sentence she crafts is calculated, not to impress, to influence. Her writing isn't about what's said, it's about what's heard. She manipulates public sentiment like a puppeteer pulling strings, and the scary part, she never even shows her face. She has no desire for the spotlight because she is the spotlight, just disguised as someone else's voice. What makes her perfect for this is her ego, or lack of it. She doesn't need credit. She gets off on control, watching entire audiences gasp, applaud, forgive, or follow based on something she wrote for someone else. That's the rush. She's emotionally detached enough to write for anyone, an angel one day, a villain the next, and she can channel either with terrifying authenticity. That moral flexibility, that's her superpower. She doesn't just ghost write, she ghost strategizes. Every sentence is a play, every paragraph a positioning tool. She can make arrogance sound like vision. She can make guilt sound like growth. She can even turn silence into strategy by knowing exactly what not to say. While other writers aim to be relatable, she aims to be remembered through other people's mouths. Her work is never about authorship. It's about orchestration. She doesn't write to express. She writes to engineer. And if you've ever felt deeply moved by a speech, a letter, a post from someone in power, chances are she wrote it quietly, brilliantly, and completely unseen. Number 8. High-risk negotiator, private sector. A Sigma female. As a high-risk negotiator isn't the one raising her voice or pounding on tables. She's the one who walks into a room full of panic, silence in her eyes, and dismantles chaos with a few sentences so sharp they feel like pressure points. She doesn't show emotion because she's already dissected yours. She doesn't threaten. She makes you reconsider everything you thought you were in control of. In this job, stakes are brutal: hostage situations, corporate warfare, digital ransom, blackmail gone nuclear. But she doesn't blink. She's not moved by desperation. She uses it. She knows the psychology of fear, power, and leverage like second nature. While other people crumble trying to de-escalate, she walks straight through the tension like it's data. No shaking hands, no hesitation. She's already priced out your panic and turned it into strategy. Her genius lies in making the irrational logical. She doesn't play fair, she plays flawless. Her words are stripped of ego and flattery. Every phrase is deliberate, built to get the exact response she wants without giving away a drop of power. She's the type who can calmly say, "You don't want to do this," and mean it in 10 different ways, each one more dangerous than the last. People in these scenarios often mistake silence for weakness. That's their first mistake. Her silence isn't fear, it's precision. She's running scenarios in her head while you're still figuring out your position. She already knows your fallback plan. She already knows where you're bluffing. And the worst part for the other side? She doesn't just negotiate the terms. She owns the outcome. She's immune to intimidation tactics because she doesn't absorb energy. She reads it like code. Body language, tone, pacing. She'll know when someone's about to cave before they do. And once she has that crack in the armor, she'll walk through it with such calm dominance, the other side won't even realize they've surrendered until the deal is already signed. No one celebrates her. No one claps when she walks out. But every time a life is saved, a billion-dollar asset is secured, or a catastrophe is quietly averted, know this: she was the one behind it. Not through emotion, not through theatrics, through cold, calculated clarity and power that never raises its voice. Number 9. Artistic Director of Dark Media. When a Sigma female steps into the role of Artistic Director of Dark Media, she's not interested in pretty. She's not here to create cozy backgrounds for your screensaver or feel-good fluff for mass consumption. She's here to rip the mask off reality and show you what's underneath. Her art isn't designed to be liked. It's designed to be felt. And sometimes that means making people uncomfortable in the most necessary way. She operates in the shadows of storytelling, dragging taboo topics, buried trauma, and cultural hypocrisy into the spotlight without apology. Her medium might be film, photography, music, or something that doesn't even have a name yet. But her message is always the same. Wake up. She doesn't care if it makes you squirm. That's the point. Her work isn't decoration, it's confrontation. She'll direct a film that leaves people silent and disturbed because it made them see their own darkness. She'll curate an exhibit that feels more like a psychological mirror than a gallery. She'll write lyrics that gut you, not because they're cruel, but because they're true. She doesn't do fake vulnerability. She weaponizes authenticity. Her art has teeth and it bites in just the right places. What makes her dangerous in this role is that she doesn't create for praise. She creates to expose. She's not chasing beauty. She's dissecting it. She'll challenge every rule of commercial taste, flip your expectations upside down, and turn taboo into high art. She doesn't care about controversy. She expects it. And she controls it like a conductor controls a symphony. People who work with her either adore her or fear her, usually both. She's not here to compromise. She's here to deliver a message most people are too scared to touch. She brings elegance to chaos, clarity to madness, and depth to stories that would drown a weaker mind. She won't give you comfort, but she will give you awakening. And once you've seen through her lens, you'll never unsee it. She's the kind of artist who doesn't just provoke emotions, she unlocks them. Not to impress, but to reveal what society keeps hidden. And in doing so, she becomes more than a director. She becomes a mirror to the world's most uncomfortable truths, and makes sure we never look away again. Number 10. Executive Silence Coach. As an executive silence coach, the Sigma female teaches a skill most people are terrified of, saying absolutely nothing and still owning the room, while everyone else is busy rehearsing pitches, perfecting their tone, and overloading their words with fake charm. She teaches power through restraint. Silence isn't awkward in her presence. It's surgical. She trains her elite clients not to fill space, but to own it. Her entire philosophy flips traditional communication on its head. It's not about what you say. It's about when you don't. She shows CEOs, politicians, high-level operatives, and public figures how to weaponize stillness. How to let silence creep just long enough to make the other side sweat, confess, or flinch. Because once you realize most people speak out of fear, silence becomes your loudest weapon. She studies micro-behaviors the way hackers study code. The twitch of an eyebrow, the beat before a sigh, the way a person's voice shifts when their confidence cracks. These are her analytics. And in high-stakes environments, she trains her clients to use silence not as absence but as dominance. She teaches them how to stare without reacting, how to pause mid-sentence and let the silence do the heavy lifting, how to dismantle arrogance not with rebuttal, but with stillness so unnerving it feels like a mirror reflecting weakness. Her coaching doesn't involve public speaking courses or dramatic flair. It's cold, tactical, precision-based. She'll tell a billionaire client, "You talk too much. That's why they don't respect you." And then she'll teach them how to answer questions with a glance, kill a negotiation with a smirk, or hold a boardroom hostage with 10 seconds of well-placed quiet. What makes her terrifyingly effective is that she doesn't sell confidence, she sells control. real psychological power-gripping control. Her clients don't just walk away better communicators, they walk away unreadable, untouchable, and unforgettable. And she does it all without raising her voice, without writing a single line, without breaking character. People always want to know her secret. There isn't one. She just understands the power of not performing. Because when you've mastered silence, you don't need to fight for attention. You command it without saying a word. Number 11. Deep Tech Startup Operator. A Sigma female, as a deep tech startup operator, isn't building apps to remind you to drink water. She's not coding for likes or slapping together another platform to make life easier. She's knee-deep in bleeding-edge tech, quantum systems, neural interfaces, synthetic biology, AI so advanced it scares other engineers. And she's not doing it for applause. She's doing it because something in the system is broken, and she knows exactly how to dismantle it and rebuild it better. She doesn't flaunt her intelligence. She doesn't wear her title like a trophy. Most people wouldn't even know she's the one running the operation because she moves in stealth, not spotlight. Her name might not be on the front page, but her fingerprints are all over the disruption. While other startups chase press releases and funding rounds, she's 5 years ahead, quietly building the thing that will make them obsolete. Her team? Hand-picked, small, hyper-efficient. She doesn't hire for degrees or charisma, she hires minds that are dangerous in the best way. She doesn't waste time on pitch deck nonsense or vision boards. Her product is the vision, and it speaks louder than any TED Talk ever could. The only validation she needs is results, and the fact that entire industries start sweating when her code touches the system. She has no patience for hype culture or move fast and break things tech bro energy. She moves quietly and breaks things permanently. She's ruthless with inefficiency, allergic to ego, and completely uninterested in building something just to sell it off. Her mission is correction, not cash, and ironically, that's what makes her unstoppable and incredibly valuable to the ones who know where real power lives. She operates like an assassin in the tech world, in silence, in systems, in outcomes. She's building something most people can't even comprehend yet, and by the time they do, it's already running the show. There are no selfies, no Silicon Valley panel talks, no bragging rights. Just clean disruption, airtight code, and a blueprint for the future signed in silence. Because while others want to be seen as the next big thing, she's too busy building it. And by the time the world catches up, she's already moved on to fixing the next thing they didn't even know was broken. Number 12. Cultural Intelligence Officer. As a cultural intelligence officer, a Sigma female isn't just collecting passport stamps. She's dissecting the invisible power grids that run entire countries. She's not the tourist snapping selfies at monuments. She's the one sitting in a quiet cafe in a foreign capital, watching the way leaders move, locals behave, and unspoken rules dictate everything. To the outside world, she's just a traveler. In reality, she's a walking geopolitical algorithm. Her job isn't diplomacy, it's decoding diplomacy. She understands the psychological weight behind a bow in Kyoto, the social landmines in Lagos, and the political symbolism of gift-giving in Riyadh. To her, etiquette isn't manners, it's strategy. One wrong gesture could destroy $1 billion negotiation. One right silence could prevent a war. That's the level she operates on, and she doesn't get it from guidebooks. She gets it by reading culture-like code. She infiltrates elite social events, diplomatic functions, and global trade talks, not to schmooze, but to analyze. Who's really in control? Who's pretending? Who's trying too hard? Who isn't trying at all because they don't need to? She gathers intel not by force, but by understanding. Because when you truly understand how a culture operates, you don't just communicate, you influence without being seen. She's fluent in more than languages. She's fluent in tone, silence, context, and history. She knows that in some places, assertiveness is respect, while in others, it's war. She knows when to bow, when to walk out, and when to speak last, just to establish psychological dominance. And she teaches her clients, governments, multinational CEOs, security agencies, how not to screw it all up with arrogance or ignorance. She's not out here waving flags or giving speeches. She's in the shadows, making sure nobody says the wrong thing at the wrong table in the wrong country. Her work isn't on record, but it echoes in every smooth negotiation, every international alliance that didn't fall apart, every high-stakes meeting that didn't turn into a disaster. She doesn't just travel. She maps power. She's the unseen compass in a world full of diplomatic chaos. And while the world scrambles over borders and politics, she's already sitting quietly in the back of the room, knowing exactly who holds the power and how to make them hand it over, willingly. In a world that constantly pressures women to fit in, perform, and please, Sigma females are the ones who quietly redesign the system without asking for permission. They're not chasing approval, applause, or conventional success. They're chasing mastery, impact, and legacy. And the careers that suit them aren't the ones listed on glossy motivational posters. They're roles that require brutal independence, intellectual sharpness, emotional detachment, and a taste for walking alone without losing direction. From decoding governments in silence to rewriting legacies for billionaires, from weaponizing human behavior to building tech 5 years ahead of its time, these women don't just work jobs. They orchestrate realities. Their influence isn't always seen, but it's always felt. And while others are busy being loud, Sigma females are already pulling strings behind closed doors, often in roles so layered, so nuanced, and so quietly powerful that they leave no fingerprints, just impact. What makes their path so rare is that it's not fueled by ego. They don't seek validation from society, and they definitely don't seek permission. They choose careers that allow them to stay in control of their time, their energy, and most importantly, their narrative. They understand the power of remaining underestimated, the strength in staying silent, and the long game of operating from the shadows, while the rest of the world fights for attention in the spotlight. And while the world often mistakes their detachment for coldness, or their solitude for weakness, they know the truth. Their silence is strategy, their solitude is sanctuary, and their careers? They are not jobs, they are chessboards. Every move is calculated. Every role they step into is a mission, and every mission is about shaping systems, not serving them. So if you've ever felt like you don't fit into the usual career boxes, maybe you were never meant to. Maybe you were meant to redesign the room, not sit politely in it. Because Sigma females don't follow the blueprint. They are the blueprint, unbothered, unmatched, and undeniably in control. And their careers? They're not built for comfort, they're built for quiet domination. So, here's to the ones who lead without leading on, the ones who don't play the game, but rewrite the rules and walk away before anyone notices they were even in it. If this deep dive into the extraordinary world of Sigma females and their unstoppable careers sparked something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button to stay locked in with more content that breaks the mold and shatters clichés. Like the video. If you're ready to rethink what success really looks like, drop a comment below sharing your thoughts or experiences, because your voice matters here. And hey, don't forget to share this with someone who needs a fresh perspective on power, independence, and owning their path. Trust me, this is just the beginning. Stick around. You won't want to miss what's coming next.